CBS News Bay Area Afternoon Edition with Ann Makovic.
Right now on the afternoon edition, California taking legal action against President Trump's tariffs. The governor and attorney general say the president has overstepped his authority. Thanks for joining us this Wednesday. This is California's 14th lawsuit against President Trump in less than 14 weeks. It argues that President Trump does not have the authority to impose tariffs without congressional approval. Governor Newsom noted that these tariffs will have an outsized impact on California, particularly on its manufacturing, technology, and agricultural industries. California is the world's 5th largest economy, and China, Mexico, and Canada represent the state's 3 largest trade partners.
No state is poised to lose more than the state of California. We are here very mindful of the anxiety that this has imposed on all of you, and very mindful of our role and responsibility at this moment.
Now, this is the first challenge from a U.S. state against the Trump administration's tariffs. So far, the White House has not responded to California's lawsuit. Taking a check on Wall Street, live look at the big board this afternoon, and it is down. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell just spoke about the economic impacts of tariffs, warning that they will likely lead to higher inflation and slower growth. So the Dow down about 750 points. And here is a live look at the top 500 stocks, courtesy of FinViz. Red means a stock is down. Green means it's up. And you can see much more red there on that map than green amid all of these tariff fears. The Trump administration has filed a civil lawsuit against Maine over its decision to allow transgender athletes to participate in women's sports. Attorney General Pam Bondi held a news conference in Washington accusing Maine's education department of violating Title IX and putting girls who compete in high school competitive sports at risk of physical injury. The Justice Department says it also plans to go after other states for failing to comply with the administration's policies on this.
For this, we're looking at Minnesota, we're looking at California, we're looking at many, many states, but they are the top 2 that should be on notice because we've been communicating with them.
In a statement, Maine's governor says the matter is about states' rights and, quote, defending the rule of law against a federal government bent on imposing its will instead of upholding the law. The Valero refinery in Benicia could be shutting down as soon as next year. The petroleum producer submitted notice that it plans to idle, restructure, or cease operations by the end of April 2026. The refinery had faced lawsuits and fines in the past over alleged air quality violations and bay pollution, including a record $82 million fine by air regulators. And last month, the city of Benicia imposed new safety regulations on Valero. We are closely watching the results from Oakland's special election, and the race for mayor is very tight. Right now, former Oakland City Councilman Lauren Taylor is holding a slim lead over former Congresswoman Barbara Lee, 51% over 48%, almost 49%. But it could take days until we learn the final results. Our Veronica Macias reporting from Oakland City Hall.
Yesterday, we went to several voting centers over at the Eastmont Town Center. We also talked to the candidate, Lauren Taylor, who tells us he was very confident. He was there to cast his vote in person at a neighborhood that he used to represent, showing up with his family and his 93-year-old grandmother. And after voting, he told us he was going right back out into the community and trying to gather every single vote that he could up until the polls closing. So last night, he showed that confidence again. Maybe that paid off for him with that slight lead. He remains optimistic, comparing his mayoral race to David and Goliath, him being David and Barbara Lee as Goliath. How this tale ends, however, is still yet to be seen, but Taylor says the fact that it is so close also speaks volumes.
We don't want to assume where things are going because we know there are still a lot of ballots out there, but at the same time, it's encouraging that this many votes coming out, we've got the lead that we have, right? It's by a lot of folks' considerations, like this is half or maybe more of what we expect in terms of return.
But again, there are no final results just yet. Yesterday, when we talked to voters, we talked to the same number of people who said they had voted for Taylor as those who had voted for Lee. One voter telling us she was going to cast that vote for Lee, given her track record. And that's something that the Congresswoman actually stressed during her own campaign party last night. She stressed how much was at stake here with so many contributions coming from committees, with some $600,000 raised, like the California Nurses Association contributing and unions backing her. She's still sure that she has a chance to win this election.
It's still early, and so I'm optimistic that as the votes come in, we'll win. But we have to really be patient. We have to be optimistic that people heard our message and that people will vote for us.
Something we did hear from the candidates and also poll workers is the low number of early votes that came in, 40,000. They were expecting to see more, given the fact that there was such a large turnout during the general election when people came out to recall former Mayor Shane Tao. Updates on the election results are going to be given every Friday.
All right, so that was the big one, the mayor's race. Voters in Oakland's District 2 are also electing a new city council person. That is the seat that controls major Oakland real estate like Chinatown, Jack London Square, Lakeshore, and Highland Terrace. Right now, Charlene Wang has a big lead, about 50% of the vote. Voters are also deciding on a measure to raise the city's sales tax from 10.25 to 10.75%. The intent is to raise $30 million a year to try to help with the city's $140 million deficit over the next 2 years. The latest tally shows Measure A passing with 64% of the yes vote. In San Jose's city council race for District 3, Anthony Tordillos now leads Matthew Quevedo by only 5 votes after previously being ahead by just 1. They are both trailing Gabby Chavez-Lopez, who is up by 700 votes, so she is easily in first. But ballots are still being counted, and the person who finishes second is going to face Chavez-Lopez in a June runoff. Stay with us for continuing coverage of these special elections. We are going to continue tracking the results right here on air on the CBS News app and on KPIX.com. San Francisco's transit agency is rolling out some major changes to try to tackle a growing budget deficit. On June 21st, Muni will shorten or merge service on the 5, 6, 9, 21 and 31 bus lines. The agency says those cuts will save $7.5 million, but critics warn they could reduce ridership and hurt future transit funding efforts. The agency also raising its parking meter rates starting on May 15th. Those rates are going to go up by at least a quarter, with some doubling from 50 cents to $1 an hour. First alert weather now. Live look outside. A little bit cloudy out there this Wednesday. Let's check in with meteorologist Jessica Birch.
Well, it's another cool and cloudy day for us today in the Bay Area, with 60s in the forecast, widespread from our inland areas all the way over into the coast, too. Those clouds are going to hold on tight to us for just a few more days, but we will notice a lot more warmth, a lot sunnier skies, and temperatures are going to hold on tight to the mid-70s as we head into this Easter weekend, right around the corner for our inland folks. And we're actually going to see upper 70s as early as next Monday. Now, where you don't see that warmth nearly as much, it's along the bay, closer to the coastline, San Francisco, Oakland, but we still see a lot of sunshine heading into this beautiful weekend.